How would you like to know how to stay off the government's radar? And guess what? The trick is by staying on the government's radar. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to explain. My name is Jason Hanson. I'm a former CIA officer. I've trained thousands of people over the years in safety, security, personal protection. And now I'm going to talk about privacy, which is incredibly important to me. I want to tell you, again, stay off the government's radar by staying on the government's radar. So let me explain that. Let me unpack it, even though I hate that word, unpack it, to tell you what we're doing here. So let's say you lived in a cave, you hadn't paid taxes in 7 years, you never purchased anything on Amazon, you didn't own a car, you didn't own a house, right? You're doing things that are not necessarily normal in American society, right? Because even though nobody likes to pay taxes, we have to pay taxes to keep the IRS off our back. Most of us own a car, most of us own a home, or we rent, right? There's some kind of rent payment or mortgage payment going out. We don't live in a cave, we're sending our kids to school or whatever. We buy things on Amazon. We're doing typical normal behavior, right? And guess what? That is the secret. In the spy world, you blend in by being absolutely normal, by raising zero red flags, by doing what everybody else is doing. So that is the trick. For example, let's say I owned a lot of guns, right? Hey, maybe I own a lot of guns. Of course I love guns. I got my shirt on right now. Well, let's say a worst case scenario, government came to your door, tried to get some guns one day, right? Said, hey, we heard you have some guns, want to take them. I'm not going to go into the depth of, hey, are you going to get a shootout with the government or you give it to them, whatever. I will say maybe a good idea is to have what we call throwaway guns, right? So you have your guns that of course are off the books, that are 80% lower receivers you built or pre-1896 guns, so guns that don't exist. Maybe you have those buried someplace, maybe you have those in an office that is not attached to your name in any way. Maybe you have that at a bug out location that is a shipping container that is well insulated in a dry place. And again, the land is owned in an LLC that is attached to another state, maybe Delaware, then it does not come back to you. But hypothetical. All this is hypothetical, of course. But when that government thug knocks on your door and wants your guns, you give them your throwaway gun that is registered to you that they know you have because, hey, you mentioned you like guns. They tracked you that you went to the shooting range and all that, right? You exhibited normal gun behavior, but they don't know about all the other stuff. Same thing. You buy stuff on Amazon. You exhibit this normal human behavior, but you have your plan B that you don't tell anybody else about. So going back, you're the guy that lives in a cave, doesn't pay taxes, never been on Amazon, doesn't do normal behavior. You're the guy that stands out like a sore thumb. If you have social media, if you have a Facebook page, if you have your Amazon account, that looks like normal human behavior that blends in, but that's why you always create your plan B. As you don't want to stick out and make yourself, you don't want to be, give an example, me. I look plain, I look boring. People always tell me that when they first meet me, like, oh, I thought you'd be some super ninja. If I was 7 feet tall and Shaquille O'Neal, would I be able to blend in very well? Obviously not. You're supposed to look plain and normal and average. That's how you blend in. So the plan B means that you've got your food storage somewhere. So if you have to leave your house for some reason, all your eggs are not in one basket. You've got your gun somewhere else. You've got cash in various places. Yes, cold, hard cash for emergency situations. So you don't, get on Facebook and say, hey, guess what? Here are the GPS coordinates for my cash that I buried at my farm, which is located in Florida in this county. Obviously, you don't do that. But you appear normal while still having all your backup plans that nobody knows about except your spouse or very, very close family members, maybe spouse and kids. You've got your place to go to, your bug out location, as I said. Shipping container makes wonderful bug out locations. As we all know that they can do amazing things with shipping containers, insulating them, putting doors in them, windows in them. Ask me how I know. That kind of stuff. But you've got all this backup that people don't know the exact locations while you're still living your everyday life. You want to be like Clark Kent, basically. You go to your job, but when the stuff hits the fan, you're not sweating, you're not freaking out because you got your food storage, your water storage, your money in a safe place, all this and that. So stay off the government's radar by staying on the government's radar, blend in, look like the average Joe. But when there's a crisis, when the stuff hits the fan, make sure you have your plan to put in action. Make sure you can be self-reliant. If you want to know how to do that, click on the link below. I share a bunch of valuable stuff in there that I think you're going to find worthwhile because my goal is to make sure that we have freedom in this country, that people are prepared, they can be self-reliant, they don't have to depend on the government. And when the government does bad things, or should I say continues to do bad things, we know how to stop it in a legal and good manner. So click below. Also, please make sure you like, subscribe, turn on that ring notification. I'm former CIA officer Jason Hanson saying blend in, look normal while making sure you have your plan B to protect your family. God bless you. God bless your family.